Greetings, dear ones. I am M, and I am here because you have changed this planet. You have already shifted every single part of it, and now you are starting to acclimate into a new world. It is different for you. It is not easy to do, but let us tell you what is coming, because that is the beautiful part about what you are in the midst of doing right now. You have gone, the keeper has been talking about this change in your polarity coming from the sun. Well, we tell you the sun is not the only thing that changes polarity. Planet Earth has as well, several times. Why would something ever change polarity? Well, there's a very simple reason, dear ones. For all of this is about balance. And in a field of polarity or duality, of which you have been working in this third dimension of yours, it has basically separated everything out. And what you have been dealing with have been what you have been perceiving. You almost create it the moment you see it, the moment you open your eyes. And now there are new possibilities happening in brand new ways that we wish to share with you today, because it has begun. You see, the first year of this transition has been all about acclimation. It's been about learning to grab the new power and understand it in a new way. But now you have even the work of the cosmos behind you. For this change of polarity of the sun is sending out a huge magnetic field. No, it is not strong. It is huge. It covers the cosmos with a very weak, what you would call weak. We call it subtle, you call it weak. But basically, an energy field which permeates everything. Well, that is how we control everything. That is how actually we use the collective we, because you are part of that as well. We control the universe through these subtle magnetic fields. This is what you have used when you have done your long-distance healing. This is what you do when you send good thoughts to a person, when you have prayed for people. You have basically sent out those magnetic waves so that they could walk into them and experience the energy from it. Now, as the sun starts to change polarity, the polarity movement of the plate itself is slowing down. And as it's slowing down, parts of it that have been in motion are catching up with it. It is starting new crinkles. Pretty soon, a part will go ahead of it, and it will fall back, and it will go ahead, and it will find its new balance in the opposite direction. For instead of turning this way, it will be turning this way. And that change is an opportunity for all of you. For in this shift over the next 4 months, in other words, it's starting right away. Your sciences do not believe it to start for another 3 to 4 weeks. We tell you it's already begun. The change has started to move. You will feel it in your body emotionally, but it will not finally acclimate until late into March. March of 2014 will be an acclimation time for this new energy. And as that happens, you'll be learning to live in a new world. Yes, it will feel strange, just as moving from the past world into this new world have. But this time you will feel more surety. You'll feel a confidence in your heart. And that is the beauty of what is taking place. But there is so much more. The keeper has spoken about living in a time of no more secrets. Well, that is absolutely the beauty. Because when you all take off those illusions of who you are pretending to be, you get down to the spirit within. And you all get to know each other on a totally different basis. This is the reunion of the light on planet Earth. And it is happening now. It is so beautiful to see this next year, this next 12 months of yours that you are beginning right now, have the capabilities of grounding a new light on earth within each of your beings. You have been carrying more of your own light, and you have the capabilities of walking in a new body as well. One that will not carry all of the emotional scar tissue that you have been burdened with. One that will allow you to change your energy by your decision. You have tried it. You have worked with these in new areas. But they are coming in. Now, what is necessary for you to do that? To understand that every emotion you have is true. Oh, that confuses many of you because you try to think of your emotions and judge which ones you want to have, which ones are negative, which ones are positive. We do not consider any of them to be bad or right or wrong. They are simply your reflection of who you are, what you are experiencing in that moment. Now, as the shift takes place and goes from one area of circulation to another circulation, very subtly again, you will feel a confidence that you have been missing. This will give you the opportunity, but you must be prepared to move, which is why we are giving you this message right now. This is the time of preparation, for the time of movement is right in front of you. You have a very unusual opportunity because when this changes direction, it crinkles up, it moves, it releases your magnetic pull from the sun for a short time as it goes to zero. When it goes to zero, which is happening very quickly, that is a magical time of balance on planet Earth. And the biggest part about balance is all of this male-feminine energy which you have been working to balance for a very long time. Now they are showing up. You have a chance to balance yourself, your own energy, and the environment around you. You are basically creating an entirely new world. And you have that opportunity to see this and choose your world around you. Yes, it's going to mean gaining your confidence, because that is the magnetism that pulls everything from the cosmos to you. Just as if you were home, if you were thinking of a chocolate cake would show up right in front of you. Well, you have those capabilities here now. But you will not be doing it with chocolate cake. You will be doing it with each other. There are new connections, new families to be made, new energies to be brought to Earth. This is why much of the shifting of this past year had to take place the way it did. Now you are set. Many of you have saying, "Oh, what do you mean I am set? I have no connections at all. I've lost everything." But trust us, you are now set. You are in a position where you can step into your reality and create it. So we ask all of you to look at yourselves. Not the way other people look at you, but the way you feel inside. And to look at your own balance of the masculine and the feminine. For some of you have considered one to be better than the other, and they are not. They are both becoming useless on their own. It must be a balance for you to move forward. And everything out of balance will now show up in a new way, in a protrude into your world, into a very intrusive way. So it will show up like, I believe the expression is, a sore thumb. Well, he does not have a sore thumb. Not sure it would show up if he did, but nonetheless, that's the idea. Now, you have this capability and this new ideas. And you have the effort of making your life yours. But your voice must be heard for this, dear ones. You are the only one that can create your reality around you. And if you balance your masculine and feminine, and you draw enough masculine power and enough feminine creativity, acceptance, all of the beauty of both parts of you, you step into this new world with a natural push. A natural effort. One earlier was talking about a gyroscope. Just imagine being on that ride and thrown off in a brand new direction. Well, that is a beautiful illustration of what you all have the capability of doing. For while this sheet is rotating in this way, it is moving very clearly, but as it turns the other way, you have opportunities. Most of you will feel something's not quite right today. I don't know what it is, but I don't feel quite grounded in the same way that I did the day before. So maybe something is wrong. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. We tell you this is the release. This is the 0 point energy which all of you can experience over the next months. as this starts to acclimate for you, and after it has fully landed, that is a time for action, dear ones, very clearly. There is no better time for moving in any direction of your passion. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean this is time for you to step out and finally do all those things that you thought you had to do? Well, many of you actually have lists of things that you think you must accomplish in this lifetime. And we tell you, dear ones, it's never about your accomplishments. It's about the direction that you choose to move. Well, if you choose to move in the direction of your heart, it is easy for us to magnetically put everything in your path that you have been choosing for. And if you are doubting yourself, if you are saying, I will wait until I feel confident to move forward, I'm not quite sure, it will pass you by. For that is your choice. But there is a very unique opportunity to ground your own balance in the new light, in the new energy of the new earth, where the feminine is honored just as much as the masculine and valued as much. Now, it has been a very long time that you have lived in a field of polarity. In duality, you call it. Well, that is gone already. It is already a field of triality, but most of you don't quite know how that works. So you simply try the same attributes, the same control mechanisms that you have used in a field of duality, and you're quite frustrated because they seem to work sometimes, but not all the time. So let us speak a little bit of that. For because of being in the field of duality, everything that you have seen had opposite sides. It is the reason that humans made up the illusion of hell, because you could not understand heaven without the opposite of it in some way. And of course, that one has been used all sorts of ways. Oh, we did not imagine that you would use that one in quite that way. Well, we even went to the illustration of having the representation of earth in heaven. Oh, you are familiar with the term as below, so above. Well, we tell you that is actually the way it is. It's not the other way around. Many times we emulate you on planet Earth. That is what we did with the Satan experiment. We had to pretend to have duality in heaven where there was none. So we had a Satan experiment. It worked out very well, but we tell you, he is home now. Lucifer is one of the greatest angels of all times and has helped everyone acclimate in that duality, because that was what was needed. Now you no longer need that flow back and forth. It used to be that you would take 3 steps forward and sometimes 2 steps back. Well, that is no longer needed in the same way. Now you can take steady steps and move forward in all of your reality into a new life. All it's going to take is that initial move forward. Many of you have found challenges in your road. Many of you wonder if you are on the right path, if you have interpreted the signs from Spirit correctly, or if you are doing something wrong. Well, the whole idea of right and wrong, dear ones, had to do with duality. So we tell you now it is only about a slight adjustment. And many of you have not been getting the success that you want in whatever area it is, but we tell you all that can change. Please do not use the same rules that you were using in the old world. Go straight from the heart, align everything from it, know that all of your emotions in each moment are perfect, and never need to hide them. That is the difficult part of earth. Even just a short time ago, the keeper was sitting here watching the one called Meg, and the tears were flowing from his eyes. He tried to keep it from everyone for a while, but he could not. So that is the balance of the energy flowing through. Not that everyone needs to cry, but when you spend a lifetime not allowing yourself to do it, sometimes there is some catching up to do. So the wiring has to do that sometimes. But that is a balance. That is the balance. For in that moment, if he would have been worried about what everyone would be thinking of him, of not being a masculine man as he was told to be, when he was young, then it would have completely wiped out the advancements he had made in that short time. And that is what typically happens on earth. You take a step forward, and you turn around and look at humanity looking at you, and you take a step back. It is time to gain a new vision. It is time to gain a new balance of your own sexual energy. It's time for you to claim a new part on earth, because you are teachers and healers of the greatest magnitude. Some of you remember it. Some of you work in those areas to bring it through. And some of you are simply trying to remember. Dear ones, do not ever judge yourself, for you are slapping God in the face when you do. You have been entrusted with something huge that you were entrusted to bring to earth during a very critical time of evolution. And now you are here trying to figure out, oh, is this a time? I've known something, but oh, maybe I was just being grandiose. Maybe I was just seeing myself making a difference on earth. Maybe I was just imagining myself on stage talking to people. Maybe not. Maybe those visions were planted deep into your own field of remembrance so that you could remember who you are and what you came to do. Because now, more than ever, dear ones, is the time. You'll see it happening. Some of you will retreat when you first feel the energy, for it is evasive at first. First, it feels like a blast of hot air in your face. But the moment you start to say, okay, we knew this was coming, we will protect ourselves, we will figure out what we need to do to acclimate to the new energy, then you will stop seeing the change as negative. And that is the greatest challenge on earth, because of the duality and the polarity that all of you have worked with for so long. You see everything as right or wrong, up or down, good or bad, black and white. It is time to bring the beautiful grays into the world. But there never was any black and white. All of it is a blending of energies. You have loved to have the purity of a separateness. You've loved to have the uniqueness of who you are. So you stand and you hold your color to the world. Well, we tell you, dear ones, you are part of a large rainbow. You have always believed yourself to be separate. You are now reaching that level of existence on earth where you are starting to see your connections. And yes, there are many of you who have taken the lead to step into what you call your light work, and to step into that part and to step out and make something happen in alignment with your heart. Very beautiful. Difficult sometimes, because it does not always work. It does not always bring you the exact results that you think you were shooting for. Why is that? Because sometimes, dear ones, it is not completely in alignment with the larger picture. And that is what you are all learning to do. You're learning to step lightly and to move with the flow. Not that you must change your destination, but that you now have capabilities of finding a new way, of finding a new shortcut on your path. And that will be danced with. But we tell you there are many changes still coming to earth. Some of you will see these as negative because sometimes they must take a step back in their advancements in order to step forward. The largest areas that you will see changes are in the areas of no more secrets. You are starting to see that on your televisions daily. It is a wonderful thing. In truth, you will get tired of seeing it. Isn't that beautiful? You'll get tired of being fascinated with all the lies that were told to you. You will get tired of dealing with all the corruption. You'll get tired of dealing with even the conspiracies around them. You will simply move to your heart and start something in motion. Does that mean that if it is blocked, that you are unsuccessful? No, dear ones, it means moving in the direction of your heart. The moment you put a destination on it, you take yourself out of the now moment that the timekeeper has spoken so clearly about. It's the only moment that is possible to live in. It is the only moment it is possible for you to have a spiritual experience in, and yet many of you live in the past or the future. You invest yourselves in different ways. Now it is being drawn into this moment where you can ground yourself in a whole new light. It is challenging. You will learn new words. I am a balanced being. I have no sexuality. Oh yes, I did. Trust us. There are many polarized Earth-like planets throughout what you call the universe, or shall we say the multiverse. The universe used to mean all that is, and now it simply means one section of all that is. We love the way you changed this. We have spoken before about the new planets that will be found in your own solar system. You have found 3 of them. You've decided not to call them planets, but you found 3 of them. There are more coming. There are still more that are there. Is it of great importance to you? No, dear ones. It is just a beautiful uncovering of the fact that you no longer need to be kept in the dark about anything. That is the beautiful part. Now, there are certainly a lot of adjustments because you've had God walking around with blindfolds on their face, not being able to see that they were God. So even though they had the words very clearly written right on their chest, everyone could see it but them. So you had to see it through the eyes and hearts of everyone else. And now what is taking place is even that reflection is moving a bit to where you will be able to see more of yourself. It is difficult because when you see that much beauty held within you, you will naturally doubt it. It is your nature. You live in a field of polarity. If you looked in the mirror and saw an incredible beauty coming back to you, you would necessarily find the perfect imperfection. You would find what was wrong with it. It's naturally what you do. You bring it into your world by loving the imperfections. Well, dear ones, that is you. You will not be loved for your perfections. You are loved for your imperfections. That is what you have dared to carry to earth. Now find what you can do with them, because that is the secret. All of what you have been holding and hiding from other people, which can no longer truly be hidden, is many times actually a huge attribute that you have been hiding and been ashamed of in some way because you believed that them looking at you somehow defined who you were. All of it is changing. Are you ready for the next step? And so it is happening. Take these times, these next sacred months that are in front of you. Make magic with them. Move in a direction of your passion. Do not attach yourself to the outcome, because that takes it out of the now moment. And say, today I have moved just a little bit closer to feeling something in my heart that I have experienced in my daily life. Very beautiful. Now you are on target as creator beings, creating a brand new world every moment of every day in a balanced energy. Now here is a very interesting part for all of you. But we tell you there is a balanced sexual energy on this planet. For the masculine has been the powerful energy. The creative quiet of the feminine has always been somewhat hidden. That needs to change very quickly if all of Earth is to awaken, dear ones, for there can be no more dominance in that way. Now that means a lot of changes in everyone's lives, in the collectives, in the way that you are visioned and viewed through the collectives, through your governments, through the collective vibrations of all of you together. It is changing. The magic is unfolding on planet Earth. What part of it are you claiming for you? Because now you can. Dare to step forward and know that you have been sent to Earth with a very important message. One that is needed, even though it is not known that it is needed. You may be offering your message here and everyone says, oh, I cannot see it. I'm sorry, I do not understand your message. Does not mean that you are stopping to offer it. Yes, you may try a different way to bring it out, but it is still the message of your heart. And if it is not in place at the right time, it will pass by. You will fall into a field of default creation instead of conscious creation. That is where you have been living, dear ones. Do not judge yourselves. You have been doing very well. You are moving at the speed of love, which is slightly faster than the speed of light. Einstein did not know that one. You stepped into a beautiful energy. Now here is the beautiful part that you have not been fully aware of. When you are home and you think of a chocolate cake shows up right in front of you, all sliced and ready to eat, all as you expected it. And when you think of a chocolate cake on home, even here on earth, it is coming to you. It has to go through the time lag. It has to find you in a slightly different way. Well, now we would like you to start using the attributes of creation from home on earth. The time lag has drastically diminished. Many people do not know it because you have not pushed those boundaries consciously. There is a new way of creating energy very quickly. It is light grounding. It means that instead of working with everything, you bring it in now and set it into motion. It has been taught only in the Light Master group up to this point, but is part of every one of your beings. You can bring things in very quickly. It does not take years for you to change. And now that you know that, many of you will be stretching into a new expression of your light, a freedom of expression. And while so, you will find it so freeing when your planet starts to not only balance the masculine and the feminine, but also acknowledge that balance. Right now, you do not even have the words in your language to call a balanced being. You must call it out of balance on the masculine side or out of balance on the feminine side. What about a balanced being like myself? There you go. All of these changes are directly in front of you now. And we cannot wait to see what choices you make from this. You are the creator beings that have been unveiled on planet Earth. Welcome home, dear ones. It is with the greatest of honor that we ask you to treat each other with respect. Nurture one another at every opportunity. Play well together. I am M. Espavo.
Espavo. Beautiful. There it goes. M doesn't make the keeper cry as much, but I think it shook him up, though. I look forward to hearing more and more from M because he has such an important message.
Hey.
Oh, I'm so into the message. What do you want? A Christmas kiss. There you go.
We go. Now I'm back.
Now he's back.